Hello, welcome for joining me today. And you're at my Mall Simulator shopping mall, which we have called the Highland Point Mall. And Highland Point, if you don't know the reference, refers to the game Schedule 1, which I was playing heavily prior to moving on to this. It's a fun game where you in the Highland Point town, and there's lots of shops and things there. Um, It's actually you deal in naughty substances. Let's just put it like that in that game. But it's very good fun with the way that you do the production chains and things. So I like games like that. And this is sort of there's production chains, I suppose, in a similar way. You've got to stock things up and all that good stuff. So last night, the reason I'm making this video, last night we achieved #1 position briefly on the leaderboard. We did it! We got there! Finally! Um, I'm not a conventional YouTuber that's just jumping on the latest game, whatever, to try and, get clicks and things. I am a gamer. I bought the game because I wanted to play the game. It came out, I bought it a few days later. I was I was a few days late to everybody else. The leaderboard was already like 100 millions or something when I joined. I think 98 million, I think the leaderboard was when I started. I started position 8,000 something, close to 8,000. But I ladded up quite quickly. I surprised myself. It was early days, very laggy. So I ploughed through that where a lot of people didn't, and I actually laddered up quite quickly and got up to the top like 1,000 quite quickly. And then into the top 100, I started thinking, oh, do you know, let's go for it. Let's see if we can get the #1 spot. So from that point on, my game, by that point, I was mid-game, whatever, late game. And I just thought, well, we'll just focus on everything being getting to that #1 spot. That became my game once I maxed them all out. But I thought, well, I see loads of people playing this game and they're starting out in the early game. Oh, just move forward actually. I just realised the background noise is a bit noisy there. Um, so I thought, well, people might be interested to see what a fully expanded store that's then been played with and played with. I keep trying different things and different strategies, and especially through the lag, I tried like lots of different approaches. So my mole by no means is finished. I'm constantly changing things. Like this central thing here, this is fairly new. There was a smaller version of it in the middle over there, and I've expanded this out massively just recently. I'll show you why in a bit, but for now let's just have a little explore round the mall and I'll show you what I've been up to. So we'll start off in the Thrifty Threads clothes store, and you can see outside we've got racking showing one of each product out here, so I can see my stock control as I'm walking by. Like there's something, that's the Pride t-shirt I think. It's out of stock completely on this shelf. Now it doesn't mean it's out of stock inside, but it just means I know, in fact all of these are low, so I know I've got no boxes in the stock room. All my stock is on the shop floor when it's low. I'm not going to panic about reordering. I just know that I haven't got excess boxes. Now inside, that was the last thing I did. Previously it was laid out like I just had one rack of each clothing like most people will have, and just went round the room usual. In order to beat the lag, I had to stop using my restockers in the back. So to counter that, what I did, was put loads of stock on the shop floor. So I spent a fortune buying loads of extra racking and a lot of time laying this room out with all this. It's all precision and you've got to get it right, so otherwise people get stuck and things. But everything was laid out logically, so that, for example, those three products they're the first three. If we go back to clothing here, and there you go, orange, blue, green, orange, blue, green. Next three items. So when you're ordering, it's if you want to do precise stock control, you can see exactly where you're at. That's those three there, and then so forth and so forth. And then we did the same out the front. I finally came up with this idea of I can't be bothered. I kept getting stuck in the racks and trying to do my stock control. You get stuck. Where am I? Where am I? You know, you're like this. So I thought, let's just avoid coming in the shop completely, really. So I bought these extra racks, and then one of each. So there's your first line on the app. There's your second line, third line, so forth, up to your most expensive dress there. So all in all, we carry an awful lot of stock on the floor. You don't need to do this now. The new patch is out. You can get away with a lot less. But this is what I had to do through the laggy period to try and help ladder up and keep the mall flowing. So we've got a load of photo boats here. As you can see, they've all got the most expensive one in. I don't bother with the cheaper ones in there because they're an absolute pain. You walk up, you've always got the wrong card in your hand. You have to go back to the front, get the right card, blah blah blah. So I just gave up with that, and I just do the most expensive one. It makes good money. It doesn't matter to the customers. They just, well, we find this, and you're going to see this as we talk. Well, here's an example in the toy shop. Currently only stocking the most expensive item. All the racks are set up for all the other products. Look, we've got the doll and everything here, ready to go. If I order it in, there's space for her. She's got 3 shelves, but then I just nick a bit of shelving at the minute. For the claw, most expensive item, because what I have found is the the economics in this game are a bit silly, and if you only stock the most expensive item, they will buy it. They'll come in looking for a doll. The doll's not available. Oh, instead of spending £100 on a doll, I'll spend £300 on this thing instead. So it's a bit silly. It's supply and demand the wrong way around. You create the demand by putting the supply in. They'll just buy whatever you put there. So if you only put expensive stuff, that's what they'll buy, and you'll actually you can increase your turnover on your stores by about 50% per day by not actually stocking anything apart from one item. And I think that's a bit silly, personally. It's not how I've been playing. I want to know. I'm 302 days here. I've been doing this for about the last, real life day or two to test things. So majority of the time I've been running around like an idiot, stocking up. These were one of the tricks I did. I put a little extension of my game shop in here, so that as I was doing my stock control in here and ordering, I could just pop my head round there, see the state of the games, have a quick look at the games, order them at the same time, and it actually saved me going into the game shop. So that was interesting. Now then I later realised that's not a good thing to do, because people come and buy the game here, then they have to walk all the way around the mall to the game shop to the till over there, and all the time they're doing that there's a queue forming waiting for them, and it was part of the queuing problems I had. You get queuing problems at the best of times even now with the patches, but I was causing more problems because I was doing this. And I don't know if you noticed, have I moved them? I think I've moved them now, haven't I? Oh yeah, I swapped them out for these. I did have at one point, there was a line of flowers here from upstairs, because I thought, well, you see that in supermarkets and you walk outside, so there's always flowers outside. So I thought I'd have flowers here, but again it was causing the problem of people walking all the way up there to go to the till, was causing massive queues, not just on that till, on all the tills. So don't do that. Yep. So, what I forgot to show you. You might have spotted anyway, but round the back here we've got loads of advert signboards. I call them the wall of shame, and you can just run down there, collect all the ads, run down here, just strafing, collect, loads of money, pay for your stock, then anything you make through your till is all profit. Same starting in here, there's one wall of shame down the back here. Not enough room in here because of the racks are so big. Oh, this is another thing I found. When this row here originally was like this, my whole shop was like this, it looked like this. So it's just 2 racks, 2 whole racks for every product. So that's the original racking for the claw hand, and then I put him everywhere else later. So there was like another middle row here going down the centre here. So from outside it just looked like a warehouse, which aesthetically wasn't very pleasing. So I'd started playing about with that. And what I found was that I stacked up this, what was there, I'd moved into here. And it will stock up normally, and they will buy it. They don't come in because we've got the blocker there to stop these guys getting out. But and I think the customers get blocked at this side, but then they teleport off these shelves. So if you want to hold a lot of stock of an item, like for example, if I just wanted to maximise income on this store, I only stock the claw hand. I could get rid of all of this racking really, just get rid of it all, put it all back here, mark it all up so the claws on everything, and literally I don't even need this guy to do any work. Once it's stocked out, you could just have claw. You could have 2 rows of these yellow racks in here, fill it full of claws. You could stock the thing for a week, 2 weeks, I don't know, loads, and he will do maximum income just selling this. But you know, that's if you want a max. If you want it to look aesthetically pleasing, well, I didn't think a big warehouse looked aesthetically pleasing, so I'm in the process of, I'll probably take down that middle row there and then just lay this out so it looks nice, with minimal amounts of other stock, so when you first open you've got it fully stocked. They'll run out and then they switch to the higher things. So do a bit of both. But be aware of that. It's a silly feature of the game. It really is. It should be opposite. You should get rewarded for having a fully stocked shop. And in cases like this, the game should say, well, you know, we're not having that. You're not going to sell, you know, 200 claw hands a day. You know, you'll only sell 20 or whatever. So you have to stock the other things to make your turnover. I don't understand why it's programmed like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, move on. So yeah, that I did I did have that called Peter's Toy Store at one point, but I thought no, the Schedule 1 players will understand the reference. I thought no, I'm not going that far. So we've got Highland Auto Arcade, got the $1 million car there, which does absolutely nothing for you. And originally I put it up there and put some plants around it and it looked lovely. But then I needed space up there later, so this ended up in the car park, literally in the car park, and I thought, oh, well, that's a bit of a shame, $1 million car there, sitting doing nothing. It might look a bit better if it's on an angle, mightn't it? Just carefully, don't mess up your pathing now. That should be alright. Yeah, I wish that wasn't on the plinth, actually. The plinth causes me problems. I'm going to have to rearrange this and put it in the middle. Oh, actually, I like that idea. I'll do that later. Pardon me. So, we come into the arcade. We have 10. I've got a total of 10 of the best machine, and it goes some good money. There's about, I think, about 5 days worth here. And the claw machines, yeah, going by their numbers, it's about 5 days since I've collected the money. So these are good money spinners. If you don't know about how the game works with things like placing down tables and chairs and arcade machines and things like that, the customers will always gravitate to the first one that you place down. So of course naturally when you open the arcade you've got like the cheapest of the cheapest machines, you've got 2 of those, and then you quickly expand it, and by the time you unlock it you get the best machines, and because you've got like a couple of those and a couple of those and a couple of those, whatever, nobody plays these, and you miss out on all this income, and it's like twice the price. It's 237 versus, is this the cheapest one? 130. So it's extra $100 every time they play, which mounts up. So what you've got to do is click on them, then you left click, box it up, chuck all the boxes on the floor. So you take all your arcade machines up, and then you grab your best ones and you put them down first. That'll reset the game. That will then, the customers now will come to this machine first, then this one, then this one, then this one. Then they bounce through all these. There is one upstairs as well, and then they move on to the second best game, and I thought I had 3 of those. There's only 2. This one had 3. Maybe this one. No. Oh, okay. And then eventually they work their way down. So you put all your best stuff first. And it's the same when you're putting tables and chairs down in the cafe, things like that. The first table you put down, that one will get used all the time. The second table next, the third table. So if you can use that to aesthetically have people sit where you want and force the issue. We'll look at that again later. Actually, we'll look at it sort of now, because what I've done is I've got a table from the cafe outside Bud's Bar. Yes, we don't have a game shop, we have a bar and a wine bar. The Piss Hut. That's not looking very good yet. I'm working on this. I've just done this conversion really to the Schedule 1 thing, so. But this looks quite good. I like this, and the little table from upstairs from the cafe, so they'll get their cake, come down, sit and eat it here. Now this, I don't mind so much them doing that, because they're not going to the till. They've already been to the till, so now I don't mind table and chairs could go anywhere in the mall, because they'll just come eat their meal, and then they'll be up and off doing whatever their next task on their list is anyway, without holding the tills up. So that looks quite good. So again, this the recent thing I found about only stocking the most expensive item. The game shop is actually still tucked behind here. I can order. I did. I mean, I've got one one copy. I've got one game in stock. So yeah, what happens if I stock up all of these? The people will buy them all in sort of equal quantities over time. You do find that in this game. You don't need to worry about, there's 1 or 2 items here and there you need to sort of keep an eye on if overstocking, but the majority of shops, and you'll soon learn which are which. Like this one, you just stock 2 or 3 boxes of every game every day, and boom, he'll sell them. Or you stock, 50, 100 boxes of these, and he'll sell them. Either way, he'll shift 100 boxes or so of whatever he's got. So I haven't. I mean, I do want to say I've got to the state of day 300-ish. I've only been doing this for about 10 days in game. I'm very, very recent to this way of working, and it was in order to fight the lag. It wasn't about laddering up profits or anything. It was just fighting the lag and reducing the amount of time it was taking, because it was just even ordering was so. It took so long, just loading menus up and things were lagging and everything. It was just a nightmare, really. Yeah, nothing special really behind the scenes, which is why I'm trying to make little nice frontages for these 2 shops, because they were pretty much, from very early game. I just didn't touch them. Like everybody else, you're ploughing on. You want the cinema open, you want this, you want that. So then slowly but surely I go back round and redo shops, and then I had to redo them again. This one's nice. I like the I've made with the signboards. I used the Watchman to do like a little annex shop or a little overflow of the shop into here, and then you go in. Lots of extra racking bought. These items on the back wall, they were popular, so I got extra racking for them. And these things, it was also I could stock up. Now in a normal day, if you have like that would be enough. That one table there is enough stock for that thing to last, even without your restocker on. But I doubled it up just in case. But I was only selling sort of 8 at most. I don't think I ever really went over that. So there's no need to get these second tables, especially now the restockers are working. But I did. Why not? And again, advert boards, good use of advert boards. I think here where we're using the phone, it's a phone shop. It doesn't look silly, I don't think, to have phone adverts all the way around. I should probably maximise and finish that off actually, and just go right round the room with it really. But yeah, I quite like the tech shop. It's good. And then we got this little overflow here for the watches. And again, the advertising a watch. It makes sense of lots of adverts. I've rotated it round, so I'm not totally spamming it like we did in there. So what we got is a higher value advert for the perfume facing the other way, and then there's a second wall of ads so we've got the same effect here, and this is if you go down the back here, look, we've got a little wall of shame, and you can go and collect the money on both sides. Run round that, collect all the adverts. Oh, another wall of, double here. So that's using adverts as sort of wall positions to. And I was thinking about doing that and having little annex shops all over the place and things, maybe. Cinema's the cinema. Mine's a mess. We've got a hidden nest of claw machines in there, which I can't be bothered refilling anymore. If you think every 4 machines needs, I call these racks a pallet. So to me, that's a pallet. So if you think about it, each claw machine needs 3 boxes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you need to prepare a pallet of gold just to do 4 machines. So as you can imagine, there's 4 in a line here. So there's a pallet, there's a pallet, there's a pallet, there's a pallet. A few less. So you need about 7 pallets of gold up the stairs just to stock this up. Can't really be bothered doing that anymore. But yeah, if you want to ladder up, if you're chasing ladder positions, the only reason to do that is if you're bothered about the ladder. Otherwise, you want a nice, aesthetically nice looking mall, don't you? However, I did do some extensive testing, and I'm going to do a lot more. So if you're interested in a lot more deep dives into each business, I've done it already in the cinema, and originally I had the 6 top films in the cinema running, and it was I checked the turnover. I forget the numbers offhand, but I've got it all in video clips. Pardon. And what I found was quite shocking. When I turned all the cinemas off and just had one cinema running with this top film, it did the same turnover as all 6 theatres running this same film. So the turnover from having one theatre to having 6 theatres makes no difference if you're only running one film. So when you're sort of mid-game and you first open the cinema, it's hellishly expensive to open all this stuff, because you've got to get the licenses. Well, you still need to get the licenses to get the film, and I suggest you do get all licenses because that brings your customer numbers up. But you don't bother buying all the other films. Just run with the first film or 2 that it comes with. I would suggest do what it's your game, do what you want to do. But if you want to maximise your income, let's say quickly, then just go for the top license. Don't bother opening any theatres. Just put, well, it won't be here. You'd be over there at number 1. Just put Titan R in here, and that's it. That will make the same money as what I've got here now with 6 open. You can do it for yourself if you want. You can prove it. The only way you can prove this though is you have to stop selling everything through the mall and get rid of all your stock, and then run a day just doing this and run a day just doing that. This is the sort of thing I'm doing now, and if you're interested in me doing that on all the shops over time, then yeah, follow along, because that's the sort of stuff I'm going to be doing. So yeah, done on the cinema. So then the other thing I found, so I thought, well, okay, what effect is it if I do put? So I put all the films back. So I left this in theatre 6, and I put all the next best 5 valued films back round into the other malls, and it dropped turnover substantially. So I was it's a bit silly, but it is what it is. So as mid game certainly, because you'd probably be more excited about going and opening the sushi shop or something than building all these theatres up. But you really don't need to. Get the license, get Titan R in it, and people slag off these little ball machines or whatever they're called, but with this top goodie in them, they're the Fresho Nosha. I get thousands out of these. I only empty machines every 5 or 6 in-game days or something, and these things have usually got a couple of some of them will have a couple of grand in, and it just ding 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 ding, it's another 10, 12 grand. I mean, yeah, not much compared to other things, but it all mounts up. Plus, the customers will buy, I think, one of everything. So if you don't have them, it's just lost income. This doesn't detract from them spending anywhere else. So they'll still spend in the sports shop, they'll still spend in the cinema. So if these are available, they will also spend on these. So that's just an extra £100 you're taking off them every day for very little work. They last ages before you need to fill them up. And if you do what I've done here and group them all together, it's not that much hassle filling them. Cafeteria, I've now got my tables and chairs back. I took all those up when it was laggy because they were part of the lag. A lot of people didn't realise that, but taking them up stopped a lot of the lag issues, especially if you weren't having your stockers on. So I just got, again, multiple things, so that whole thing's just that donut. So I had enough stock on the floor so that I didn't have my stocker on, and we've had to redesign and redesign to accommodate that. It's going through another refit. There's about to be a wall of shame put in the back here, which is why they're sort of floating in the middle of the floor, and then just tidy it up a bit really. So yeah, you'd have thought by the time you'd imagine somebody who's on a 300 days into the game would have finished building the shops. Nope. This one's about done, I guess. We got all the stock on the front, for easy stock control, so I can just whiz down products. So there's your first row, there's your second row, third row, blah blah blah. Overstock of the most expensive items, so if everything else runs out, they just convert to selling this instead. Actually make more money, but I prefer to see it looking like that than not. Don't think I've got anything special going on. No, there's a little claw machine. I did hear of a nest. This was the room I was talking about earlier where I had was that a different video that went wrong on me? But I was trying something out where I had, like, a bit of everything in each shop. So I had one of these, and I had a snack machine, and there was the claw machine was there, and well, the drinks machine. But this is the problem. Look, it's faffing about stocking them up. So I was trying to leave pallets of things. You can see, look, I've had a photo machine in here that's now gone. Because when I did the refit downstairs, I'm taking this out. I'll take all these machines out. Can't be bothered. But actually, while we're here, let's just top that up. So that was one thing I was doing when I started out, as a way of hiding all this stuff away a bit inside the shops. But you can see I advanced on because they get to whole roomfuls of them at some point. Oh, here. So we've got mixed pawn shop. Now here I do use claw machines, and actually when they're fully stocked this looks great, so you just got gold everywhere, and from the view here you don't, just gold, gold, gold. Originally had, so whatever this is, the amethyst bracelets, so I had a thing for each item, but I've gone round, so we've got a display unit for each item, but then on the other side I'm putting the gold ring, because we are now demanding 563 for that. Do you know what I've got here? Got to the top of the leaderboard and I was running on 10%. So originally I was selling that for 522. The pricing on stuff, I see a lot of people going, plus 10 round 575. If you price that doing that, you will lose sales. Now, yeah, you're making a lot more profit per item you sell, but if you're trying to ladder up or maximise your turnover and income, then that actually costs you money. You're better off doing 10%, because at the end of the day, you'll see you've lost 87 sales or something. Well, you work out 87 sales. If it's all your highest item values, highest value items, I should say. Let's say they're averaging 400 quid across the store or something, and you don't sell 100. That's an awful, that's ridiculous amount of turnover you've lost because you got greedy on your pricing. So I've tried it at everything. I've tried the whole store at market. I've tried the whole store at 10%, which is where I was from the beginning, really, and that worked for me fine, no problems. I tried it at the 20% round. I lost a load of business. So I quickly went and undid that, And what I did at the time, I literally went to every product in the game, market price, add 10. Then in my head I was working out what's 10% of this, £47.50, and what's half of that, about 22, 23 quid. So I'm now manually adding 23 quid in my head to, you know, this price. So I'm then override it and saying about 550, and that's where I would have been at, which, yeah, is 25 less. So I was at 550 on this, and well, certainly the claw machine's similar sort of price, isn't it? So that's where I got to until literally very recently, and then I thought, you know, once and for all, I'm gonna get this where it's easy, because that was too much mathing, and you mess up, and you know, all sorts of problems. And what I came up with was, because I just started playing about with this, and I found a formula, and this is a secret tip formula that probably is, I've not seen anybody else do this. What you do is you go market price, you go down 10, you go down 10, now you go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, round that off, that gets me to 563, done, right? And that will be no problem. But I'm now getting, I would have been at, actually no, I was at 522, not 550. I'm going to mix up with the claw machine. So I was at 522, and that was fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm getting 563. That's another $40 per item across the store. They won't all be $40. This is high value. But even some of, you know, most things are a couple hundred quid, aren't they? It's going to add another 20 quid on. If you're at 10% now, do this, because you will just rake in shed loads more cash. You won't have any problems, and it's quick. You can do it quick. See, it was here. I've been at 550 until just recently. Look at it now, 593. So I'm making so much more money. And it's just simply you go market down 2, up 4, gets round it. Well, you don't have to round it, that's up to you, but round it, and then boom. You will not get any. I think the last time I noticed, I had one person moan about price across the whole store, and I thought, I can live with that. I don't mind losing one sale. But if you're losing 50, 60, 80 sales a day, that's silly, because your prices are too high. Yep, I missed the flower shop out, but there's nothing special down there, just a nice flower shop. Again, got the stock out, so I can see from here, from stock control point of view, and then over here I got the same as one of each plant, and I just mixed them up to make it look a bit, I used to have one of each thing, but it looked a bit bleh, so I spent a bit of time just sort of mixing them up a bit. They've all got equal floor space, but then this one with a little pink flower in it is the most expensive item, so there's loads of stock of that. In case everything runs out, they'll just buy that instead. Yeah, quite good. So, and then round to the Cranky Frank's pan shop. For those of you who don't know, Cranky Frank is one of the characters in Schedule 1, and for some reason he wears a frying pan on his, or a pan on his head, whatever, a cooking pan on his head. So I thought, rather than just have homewares, I was trying to just, I've only done this recently, so again, this is not finished, and I am in the middle of a refit here. I'm putting a wall of shame in down here. No, it's already in, down here, and down here, down here. So even though we've got big horrible, this is not the finished shop, I'm working on it. Right, usual story, overstock of the lamp there, that's the most expensive. No, it's just, if we run out of other stuff, they buy that instead. Taco ticklers. We sell tacos, not burgers. Our burgers are disguised as burgers, but they're really tacos. Again, from Schedule 1. Got a bit of an overflow of my arcade in here. That's, I think, I don't know, I might have emptied these at different times, so don't worry about what's in it. So, yeah, again, very happy to have my tables and chairs back. Loving that. Pardon me. There's a little secret claw death of shame. I can't be bothered. Again, I'd need about 6 racks of gold up here just to fill that. It takes ages. In the back, moved all the machines in the back, got multiple machines for each thing. You probably don't need to do this anymore. That was an anti-lag measure again because I didn't have stockers working. So in order to stock the thing out for the day, the big XX burger, is it this one? Or is that the fish one? No, that's the chicken. It's this one is the best seller. Overstock that, don't worry about if anything else runs out. If you want to maximise your profits, only stock that. Get rid of the drinks, chips, everything. Just stock that burger and they'll buy 3 or 4 of them at a time. And we got Miss Ming's Fat Dragon. This one is only got the best stock. But beforehand I had it organised. Well, and I still can. I mean, if I want to order sushi in, just give them a bit of variety, I can. It all fits in there, no problem. Originally these had one of each in from a stock control, but when the lag got so bad and I just switched to one product, one store, then I just changed it quickly so that it just had this expensive whatever it is in here. But I mean, it makes a difference. 391, just make sure I've got the right price. Yeah. Whereas the cheapest items, what, 178? So I mean, that's like 2.5 times more, isn't it? And they'll just come and buy 3 of them instead, or whatever. I think, yeah, down the back here we've got a claw death of. Why do I call it claw death? The claw machine. I don't know why I'm calling it claw death. Just realised. But the claw machine, wall of shame. Again, I don't know. It's 6.5 grand, 10 grand. Yeah, about 5 days worth there. Average out, there'll be about 10 grand in each machine there. But that's like the worst place to put it, because to get the gold from there, you've got to go all the way down the store up there, all the way back here, fight your way through all this racking. It's crazy, really. So I'm not really bothering with those anymore. I'll leave them in place, but I can't be bothered stocking them up. I'll have to be really, really bored to stock them up. So we've done it, really, haven't we? That's the tour. Did we miss anywhere? Have I forgotten anything? Oh yeah, the car park of shame. Oh, just one thing. I don't think we saw these shops, did we? Did we see the shop? So, focusing on the most expensive. It's actually a snowboard, but we're pretending it's a skateboard for the sake of a Schedule 1 game. But then I had this was quite nicely laid out before I did it with all these snowboard things. But I had a nice little rack like this for each shoe, and you can see the advertising behind. If you put him up against the rack, you don't see the watch, you only see him on the base, the basketball. So I thought that was a lovely use of that advert in here. If you sort of semi-hide him, it kind of works. Plus you've got a lot of black wall anyway against the black background, so you don't even see the adverts in here really, do you? They're nice, but then I can just whiz round and collect. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, here's a little tip. I might mention the toy store, but you can, these things are really big and bulky, and it's like, oh, where do you put them? Oh, just put them out the way. I don't care. Don't want to see them. Yeah, but they work. The customers will buy them, no problem. I think we've got the stock for the dumbbells down the back there. It was a lot prettier until fairly recently. The lag was so bad I had to take extreme measures to fight the lag, and that's when I switched this one product, one shop method. Completely amazed myself at how much extra turnover I made, which I don't agree with, but it wasn't for that. I was doing it for anti-lag measures really, and convenience of ordering. And I'm now sort of going back to restocking the shops properly, and so this was just all done in a hurry really. And I had a really nice laid out shop that I kind of destroyed to put these in, and I want to put it back, so we'll work on that one day. Yeah, so I've mentioned about the claw deaths of shame nests I've got dotted about the place. I think there's one down here, in the stock room here, look. Again, can't be bothered. And that one, there's no excuse, it's right next to the gold, in fairness. I've even got them in the toilets. So instead of the toilets costing money, I never buy toilet roll. I can't be bothered with that. Looks totally counterproductive. The only time I've done it is if you're, in the early game and you need to level up to get to, because you're desperate to open a cinema or something, and you're very close to leveling anyway. Then I'll go and spend some money on toilet rolls and stuff to get the extra points. Other than that, don't bother. And then just for a laugh one day, I thought, I wonder if it works in here, and it did. So I put a load in, and they've borne fruit ever since. You do get issues though, where men will walk into the women's and use the machines, and vice versa. So they're gender-neutral toilets now. I don't know if I've got any more hidden claw. Did I show you the one in the back of the arcade? I can't remember. Just in case I forgot. I think we did. There's one there. You could do a bit all any of your stock rooms if you want. If you've got space, just put them in. And then we get the car park of shame. Right now we've just got advert boards everywhere. I think you can run solid lines here, but I wanted to leave gaps so that you still have the view. We've got the method here where you run adverts and you do the expensive ones facing in and do some of the cheaper ones for variety on the front. I think that looks, quite nice really. So it's really good. You can collect here, you just whiz down, click, 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 and then it carry on. Here you can utilise this space. As you can see, I'm in the process. I got bored. It's been like this for weeks, actual weeks. So yeah, and then I realised you can put them on the road. So I thought, well, why am I using my space? Let's use the road, and we build a wall right round the mall. And you just go click, 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 click. Your claw machines will work. All your machines will work anywhere. You can place them. They will get used in equal measures. It has no bearing whether these are at the entrance as people walk in or stuck out right in a corner. They will get used exactly the same way. Yeah, I was trying something here. I'm not going to do this. I did envisage a whole wall of them here, but I've got to the point I haven't got the time to fill up the claw machines I've got, so it's ridiculous. And then a wall of shame here again, coming up this side. This is doubled. There's another one forming there. Round the edges. I used to have bubble machine, the candy machines here as well, but drinks machines, complete waste of time. Why I've got so many, I don't know. Yeah, again, you could probably just stock the most expensive drink and do better. It's just an overthrow to the early game. I'm starting to put these, I had them dotted all over the shop, all over the place. It makes no difference, so I'm slowly but surely, the ones I find now dotted around the mall, I'm dragging and bringing them back here. Oh, that didn't do much help, did it? Put a little bit in. Of course, that's the other benefit of having them next to each other. You can easily stock them up just from the other machines temporarily while you sort out a pallet. And then obviously your parking machines. What I usually do, I messed up, so I haven't collected there, but I usually look at this advert. I'll have to do this one instead because I forgot to do the ones there. So when this gets to about, well, after today it'll be at £2,000. I could do a cash collect at that point. I've been leaving it later and later, to be honest. £3,000, £4,000. So I've got a few days in game before I bother collecting the machines, because I am more interested in seeing the number at the end of the day being, tell me what the tills have done. Yeah, I think it's a good strategy to have. Is don't collect your machines. I mean, if you're early game and you're desperate for the cash, obviously, but sort of mid-late game, don't collect any machine money at all. So at the end of day report, you can just see what your shop tills have done, and then try strategizing things. Try doing what I've done there, and just let everything run out. I mean, that might horrify you. Let it all run out, apart from the most expensive thing, and watch your turnover go through the roof. So there's sort of pro tip number one, I guess. I think that just about concludes the initial look round. I'm not done with this game by any means. I've done all the achievements, obviously, so everything's unlocked. I've now hit number one, at least briefly, on the leaderboard, so I've got that tick box, so I don't really care about chasing leaderboards anymore. So what I'm now going to do is be looking at sort of getting some data, and the next sort of videos I'll be doing. I've got the data for the cinema, as I was saying before, about how much money you make if you just stock this film, how much money you make if you stock all those sort of things. So probably the next video I'll do is I'll try and pull all that data in and put that one out for you. But what I'm going to do is run it dry, run the whole place dry, do a 0 day again just to prove there's no stock, and then we'll just stock up things like I just want to see what does this shop do if it's fully stocked. What does it do if it's just got the I think the most expensive item is it's this thing, it's the 3D thing, what do they call them, the iPair Vision Pro. Yeah, just double checking I've got the price right, and just show you stuff like that, and maybe there's a compromise between the two things, and you stock the top 4 or 5 items or something. I'm going to be doing refits. Well, I'll be finishing off this. I'll video the rest of Cranky Frank's refit, and the toy shop downstairs, the cafe. Where else do I need to work on? The flower shop, the cinema. They're all down. So I've got lots of refits I'm going to do. So I'll make videos on them as well at around the same time. Actually, maybe we'll do the refits while I'm doing the testing of the other shops, because then I'll have time I don't have to worry about stocking things up and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're interested in that, so eventually I want to know, like for example, I'll give you a tidbit. The burger bar, what turnover do you think you're doing on your burger bar? Well, when I did the test for the cinema, it was doing, I think I did it at about 40,000, yeah, was the turnover. Without changing anything over there, I turned the burger bar on. Do you know what my turnover was the next day? 43,000, something like that. It was like no difference, and I'm like, what? So it made me question. Unfortunately, what I should have done was turn the cinema off and just done the burger bar on its own. Yes, I did do that. I did that a few days later, and it only turned over 13,000, which was a bit disappointing, I thought. Now that was when it's selling all the products. I need to do that test again now to see when it's selling just the double Big Mac burger, the most expensive thing. I would estimate you'd probably get up to 25 grand. But I thought for all the expense and everything for the it doesn't do a great deal of turnover. And that day when it was just the cinema and the burger bar, it did no extra turnover. I was like scratching my head with that. But you do get the odd day where you just drop about 20% on sales, and maybe I just hit that day. So what I need to do is redo some of those tests and do it over a couple of days. Now we got the lag free, that you can whiz through a couple of days quite quickly. It was taking me ages before. So I'm going to be doing all sorts of stuff. I do plan to do that, and if people are interested, then fine, let me know and follow and like and sub and all that shit. And then we can, it'll give me motivation to actually do that. Well, I'm doing it anyway, but if you want to come along for the ride, then come along for the ride. And then of course we're eagerly awaiting third floor and more shops to play with, but we're I'm over 300 days in, and this is feeling half done. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't mention. This is new, so it is new. I've only just put it in. I had a little bit of these machines in the middle in a similar sort of shape, but just not as big as this. I've got some footage somewhere. But what I did, because I got bored of doing just gold up to there and, like I say, putting on the pallets, I thought, well, I'll move all my gold machines and just put them right here again. So we've got this, I think there's 41, I've got an extra one in the middle there. There's 40 gold machines here, which are actually replacing. But so far I have not taken a penny out of these since I did this. This is all new money coming in. But as you can see from earlier ones, a lot of the other ones have run out, so technically they've just been replaced and put down here. I just bought them again rather than actually moving them. So that's just to help me keep on top of the gold without having to faff about running around and doing this pallet loading business. I just can't be bothered with it anymore. So yeah, that's the last thing. But again, it's hidden away. You might have spotted it as we were walking around. I don't know if you realised that was there or not. If you didn't, well done me. Well done if you did spot it, canny-eyed. Okay, so that's my mall with my walls of shame and claw machines. I don't like to do that. I wish the game mechanics were different. I think you should be rewarded for doing a nice mall that's fully stocked. That should give you the maximum profit, not be encouraged, especially if you're just trying to get up the ladder and the leaderboard, to do all this shit. It's really the wrong way round in my mind, and I think the developer needs to sit back and have a think about that. But it is what it is. It's a game. Play it your way. Enjoy it. That's the main thing. I hope you've enjoyed this. If, like I say, I'm going to do a lot more videos and a lot more deep testing of stuff and, you know, how-tos and whatnots and the usual sort of gubbins. But I thought people just might be interested, because there's a lot of footage out there of, you know, malls being built, but there's not much I've seen or I've come across where, you know, fully built ones getting redesigned and min-maxing and all the data. I want the data. I think we're going to get it. We're going to get like a management office or something, which I'm rather hoping there's a computer in there that will tell us everything we need to know about this stuff. But in the meantime, who knows how long that's going to take. So yeah, very interesting that, you know, just knowing things like, well, the burger shop, you could expect to make, you know, 15 grand a day if you do that, 25 grand a day if you do this. Is it worth, you know, at this moment in time, if you're tight for cash flow, you might want to think about that shop instead, you know, that sort of stuff. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching this far. If you've stuck with me, really appreciate it. If you want more of this, you know what to do. Bye for now.